Hey, my magicals. So, welcome back to the channel, right? Today, we are going to quickly I say quickly, I don't know why I keep on saying quickly. That's not actually the energy at all, but I'm just quickly clearing space here. Today, we're going to do the forecast for 2025. If you can hear huffs and puffs and a possible snore just now, Alexander has joined us for the reading to impart his wonderful canine wisdom on us and energy. Okay, so this is exactly how the private readings will look. Obviously, the private readings become slightly more in-depth and more personalized, given that they are personal, right? So just a reminder that there will be a link in the description box below, or you can WhatsApp me for those who have me on WhatsApp. Because these readings are only going to be open for a limited time. I'm not taking them through into next year like I did last year. Kelso has called a moratorium on that and said that beginning of December is the very latest. So please don't hesitate to book your session if you want it. Okay. Right. Okay, guys. So what's going to happen? I have laid out the 12 cards. I don't really know what's coming as you do. I shuffled them, sage them, put them down just to save time. But what I want to say to you is, first of all, let's just take a moment of silence to acknowledge how shit hard this year has been and what the actual hell happened. Secondly, next year is a 9-year, right? It's a 9 year, so nines are all about completion and growth and the recognizing of life cycles. Now, here's the thing. Nines are not full on completion, right? It's that they've completed it, but you haven't. So when I say full on completion, what I mean by that is you've completed the cycle, but you've given that time to contemplate, to look at what needs fine tuning, where you still have stuff that you can release, what you need to go forward with in order to move into the 1 year, which is then the fresh cycle, right? Which will be 2026. Okay, so in light of all of that, Kelso and I had a little chat just before I came on, and I asked him for any sage wisdom, and he has said that next year is all about. So I feel like this year has stripped us. Sorry, I'm jumping here. Just give me a second. This year has stripped us of a lot, okay? Whether it's been friendships and it's pushed us out of comfort zones, it's still pushing us out of comfort zones, releasing karma, all of that energy this year. I really, really did think that I have to be honest, and this is my own personal hope was that this year was a whole lot easier. Some ways it's been, some ways it really hasn't been. But I feel like next year, Kelso's whole thing about next year is what is my next power move? Okay, so when you are going into 2025 and you are going through the different months and the different cycles of 2025, your theme is what is my next power move? I do feel that 2024 and 2025 are a big setup for what's coming in 2026, okay, our 1 year in 2026. Also understanding that although this is an abundance year, I've had a cuck-off hard year this year in terms of healings and change and conflict and chaos and all of that because I'm in a personal 5 year. And that's all that 5 is about, is all of that change. So just a heads up, when we do your personal readings, you will get an idea of what personal year you're in and what that means for you and how to work with it in relation to the 9 year. Okay, so just so we're all clear, your personal years in some ways play a bigger part than the actual general year, but we kind of want to see what's happening. Okay, right, so we're going to get started. I've merged 2 decks in all of my wondrous glory. I see everyone merges these 2 decks and it always looks fabulous on YouTube, and then I forget that I've got really small hands and that it becomes a little bit difficult for me to work with. Okay, so Spirit, what do we need to know moving forward for 2025, please? Oh, nice energies. Okay, so just excuse me stretching here, but I just need to try and make some space. Right. So the 3 energies we've got coming up. We've got Dark Thoughts. We've got Goddess of the Moon. And we've got Door to Spirit. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm hoping you can, because it looks like there's a bit of a glare on the cards. Right, what I want to say around these 3 energies, and they really are very cohesive energies in terms of the 9 year. The 9-year is going to be about tempering our mental space. Okay, think about the 9 of Swords in tarot. It's all about mental anxiety, mental, not even so much confusion, more mental torment, anxiety, anguish, like struggle, all of that energy, and it's really something we're going to have to temper in 2026, right? Because there will be closing outs of cycles. There's no doubt about it. So if they've already started now, the endings will come next year fully. Again, guys, I'm reiterating the cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. We are having a new slate, new karmic slate from the 19th of this month, right? I'm going to be doing a full moon reading on that and do a pop-up reading around that as well, probably, just especially for the cardinal signs, because it's a big one for us. So what I'm going to say to you is that then moves into Aquarius. So what I'm going to say is that the reason I'm saying all of this is that the energy very much feels to me around the fact that we're going to have to spend a fair amount of time in our mental spaces next year, making decisions that move us forward, empowering ourselves to move forward, taking action, right? Deciding to take action in empowering ways, which automatically means that that space can get dirty very quickly with negative energy. So this is going to be about us really tempering our mental space and making sure that we're keeping it as clean as possible, so that we're not ending up creating realities and setting up foundations for the 1 year that we don't want, right? Goddess of the Moon, 752-7, right? Goddess of the Moon is talking to us about honoring the cycles, first and foremost. And what did I say to you about nines? It's all about that. It's about honoring the cycles that are closing out, that have completed, and the cycles that we are wanting to begin. Goddess of the Moon is telling us to please use our intuition, tune into where we at. Don't just make mental decisions. We need to make heartfelt decisions as well. And our gut will always guide us in the right direction. Whether we listen to it is a different story. I always say, and it's a joke, I know it's been a meme that's gone around, but it is the truth. Like, my gut is large, but she is woke. I, as a channel, can sometimes get messages wrong, or it can be a slight nuance and difference in energy. All of those things can happen, right? But when my gut says something, it has never steered me wrong. I cannot have listened to it, which I've done on multiple times, and I've been proved wrong every time, but my gut is never wrong. Your intuition is in connection to your higher self, and it will guide you in the places that you need to go. So again, next year, listen to your intuition. Use the cycles that we're going through next year, especially the moon cycles, but also 5 and 7. 5 and 2 is a 7. 7 is a spiritual number. It's about taking leaps of faith, taking the leaps of faith that you are guided to take during the course of next year. And again, last card out, door to spirit. In actually tuning into your intuition and keeping your mental spaces clear, you're going to be able to make the changes, because 32, it's a 32 card, which is a 5. You're going to be able to make the changes you need to access spirit in its entirety. We all need spirit. We need spirit in terms of our spirit guides. We need spirit in terms of the universe and our faith, however you perceive it, right? We then open up access and free flow of channeling to our guides, to our higher self, to the universe at large. When we do that, we open ourselves up seriously for the receptivity of messages, of guidance, of assistance, of abundance. Okay? When we are a clear channel, you can see the doors open there and the dove is flying through, bringing in a whole lot of magic behind it. If our doors are closed, because we are sitting in that space there and we're sitting in a labyrinth of catastrophe and chaos, we're not going to have the magic that Spirit's going to want to bring to us when we open ourselves up to it. Okay, so it feels like our mental space is going to be a bit of a double-edged sword for us next year. So we're just going to have to monitor it. That's going to mean keeping grounded, making sure that you're taking care of your physical self, making sure that you are meditating as best you can, right? It's an important one, guys. You're going to have to. Right, strangely enough, Kelso said that I needed to draw a goddess card. He said that as the time of the divine feminine is now rising and it's coming into its power, right? We are going to be seeing more and more feminine energy in different spaces, different places, and so we need to be able to tune into the energy of that. So, Kelso, spirits, guides, guardians, elementals, what goddesses are stepping? Okay, well, that's a bit dramatic. I'm not going to lie. That's a little bit dramatic. I do think that that's a lot. Dear Lord. Okay, hold on. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Please give us a goddess or two that is assisting us in 2025, please. What goddesses? Okay. There we go. Okay, under the deck, Cordelia, go outside. What have I just said to you about grounding? Right? Okay, so the first card out, Ishtar, Egyptian goddess. Oh, no, she's not actually. She's a... No, I'm not sure she's an Egyptian. Might be Mesopotamian goddess, I think. Ishtar, about boundaries, right? It says here, love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy, right? We're going to have to make those decisions, guys. We're going to have to follow our intuition. When someone says, let's go out and we want to do this and we want to do that, and you don't feel like it, you feel like you need to take that time for yourself, take that time for yourself, okay? If people are no longer respecting you, or if people are mistaking your kindness for weakness, or whatever it is that you're going through in your spaces, okay, if they cannot see your value, let it go. Set the boundary. If they don't adhere to the boundary, they need to move on. Let me make something abundantly clear here, guys. Boundaries are there, not for them to understand, but for them to respect. However, in order for you to have people respect your boundaries, you also need to respect other people's boundaries. Secondly, when it comes to boundaries, you cannot expect people to respect your boundaries when you don't vocalize them. Guys, people are not mind readers. They are not going to be able to just get what you want to say, do what you need to do. You have to be able to say to them, no, please don't do that. That is a boundary for me. And I clearly say to people, you're crossing a boundary with me. Don't do it. Okay? So make sure that you're clear on your boundaries. You're going to need that mental space for yourself. What did I say to you about opening the door to receive? Right. Hathor, Egyptian goddess of receptivity, coming up. If you're needing help, contact Hathor. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. Guys, you can't make this up. Right? What have I said to you about the goddess of the moon? Use your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Okay, the more we are in a space of fear-based negativity and thought patterning, the less we are going to be open to receiving. Green Tara, delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. Right, this is a form of actual receptivity as well. I think because the divine feminine energy is one of nurturing and loving, we all, especially I'm speaking to the divine feminine in all of us, male or female. When our divine feminine is actively overly stimulated, what happens is we tend to just continuously give and then not receive. A lot of women in particular are very good at giving but not receiving. This year it has to change. In order for you to create a life that you really want to create and set the foundations and close out the cycles, you need to let go of those that do not match your level of energy. So if you are continuously giving to a situation and they are not, step away from the vehicle. If it hasn't changed by now, and if you set a boundary and it still doesn't change, guys, it's not going to change, right? So when it comes to getting this, ask for help. Start contacting people. I really need help with this. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Also, when somebody offers you help and you refuse, understand you are not only blocking your abundance to receive, but you're also blocking theirs. Because when somebody gives, it is an automatic karmic reaction that they will then receive. Okay, so please be aware of that. Okay, so working with Ishtar, Hathor, and Green Tara as the goddesses next year, as well as I would say probably if you are going to do moon cycles, do a little bit of research on the Mayan goddess Mama Killer. She works with the moon. She specifically works with the moon and will be able to assist you. Okay, so we're systematically going to go through the tarot cards. I've got no idea what's coming up, so this is as much of a surprise, or it could be a trauma. I'm not sure which way we're going to go here. It could be a surprise or trauma for us, but we're going through it together, right? So I got you. Right, so for January, let's look at the energy. Ace of Fire, really nice way to start the year, guys. Feeling motivated, feeling inspired, right? Getting plans and actions. The Ace of Fire for me is a very masculine energy. And if we talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, the divine masculine is the emperor energy. They get things done, right? So this I feel is starting off the year, knowing what you want, understanding where you want to be, having created the life. So maybe in the next couple of months, just spend some downtime, really starting to focus on what's important to you, reevaluate. Again, you're going to have to do this because next year you're going to have to release the cycles that are no longer serving you, but reevaluate what's not working for you. But what do you want in your space? How do you want your life to look, right? And all of the energies at the moment are all about dreaming big. There are lots of trines happening with the Jupiters and the Venuses and the thises and the that, all working towards making our lives the way we want them to. So my suggestion is January, find out what spurs your passion on, activate that, do a lot of creative stuff, right? Do a lot of creative work, spend time doing your hobbies, but in this month, tune into your energy, your passion, your drive, and find out, right, where am I going? Make inspired decisions about what you're wanting to achieve during the course of the year. Okay, so beautiful energy to start the year off. Like, it's almost like, I feel like with this lamp on the thing, it's almost that energy of, I'm getting from the card, that energy of let January be the light that takes you through, that guides you through the rest of the year. So set your plan in motion, have your goals, and let those goals be the guiding light to get you to where you need to be. Guys, I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that there are going to be big decisions for us to make next year. With Kelso saying, what is your next power move, inevitably indicates that there will be decisions for us to make. Okay, so all I'm going to say to you is let the January month be your month where you are lighting the candle or the lantern, whatever you want to light, whatever you prefer, that will guide you through your choices and your decisions and your actions for the rest of the year. Okay. What did I say to you about decisions? 7 of water. Oh my God. Right? So a couple of things coming through with this. First and foremost, if you are clear from January going into February, the decisions that you have to start making will be easiest decisions for you, right? I feel like for those of you who are very clear on where you want to go and what you want to do, the decisions that need to be made come February will be very clear cut. For those of you who aren't spending the time in January getting clear on your passion, on your focus, on your drive, on your outcome, your goals, what's going to happen then is that you are going to flounder. You're going to have confusion, and I'm going to say that, I'm going to go back to this card here. You will have probably the inclination is the word I'm hearing, to choose from fear, and that's not what you want. Okay. We don't want to ever make decisions from fear or desperation. Like, I've got to make a decision. What do I need to do? I feel like if you spend your January wisely, your decisions that come up in February will be decisions that may take effort for sure, but they're not going to create a situation in your space where you are like overly stressed and overly like, I don't know what to do, and why has this suddenly come up? It feels like it will be clean cut. Kels was saying to me, it will be clean cut and clean sailing if you put the effort in to light the lantern of January, guys. Okay, so there is a clearness around that message. 5 of Earth. This is the 5 of Pentacles, right? The message that's coming through from this card, it's such a beautiful card though. I really do. I have to say this. It's a woman standing. I don't know if you can see her face, but she's standing looking a little bit forlorn and a little bit like, oh. Traditionally, the 5 of Earth is very much about feeling left out in the cold, abandonment, fear of abandonment. What I want to say to you here is that in the traditional tarot, if you look at them, they're walking past a church with lights on. Okay. Thank you, Kelso. What Kelso is saying is they're walking past a church with lights on. There are candles and lanterns lit, right? He's taking you back to the analogy of January. So they're saying do not abandon what you are wanting to achieve because you feel like things are maybe not going your way. Make sure that during the month as well, this month, you may find that you have issues that trigger you with abandonment in any way, whether it be self-abandonment, abandonment from partners. This is the time to release those issues around abandonment. Okay, very, very important to actually start, like I said to you, right? Be very careful around not falling into the mental traps. Okay. What I want to say to you is March may require you to just be careful financially, because Five of Pentacles can indicate a financial loss. But what I'm feeling is with the Seven of Water before that and the decisions that you need to make, it feels to me maybe like you just need to, if things feel tight financially, don't abandon ship. Just rearrange how you're spending your money and reallocating your money is what I'm being told. Okay. So Five of Pentacles comes up for us in March. Don't panic too much about it. If you are managing your energy and you are working towards your goals, it feels like the Five of Earth is just there to kind of, and well, Kelsey's saying it is there to trigger you into releasing anything around abandonment that is no longer serving you. So that's the message from Kelso around that. We come to April, Five of Fire, the Five of Wands, right? It's lots of fives. Five of Fire, Five of Earth. So you might be seeing 55. This always talks about change, guys. Five of Fire and the Five of Earth together is 55, change coming through, right? Now, here we look at a few rivalries, some obstacles, things like that is normally the general energy of this card, right? However, I'm going to say to you that it can also mean practice. So what I mean by that is in the traditional tarot, there are people and they are battling in, but they are only using sticks. They are like, it's like play fighting, like they are practicing their skill. April is going to maybe call for us to fine-tune some of our skills. So for some of you, it might mean that you need to take a class. It might mean that you need to get some guidance from a mentor. It might mean a number of different things to you. Okay, so take it how it resonates to you. But the five of fire is really more coming through for me as a, don't panic when something comes up that you maybe feel like you cannot do or that you feel is too difficult. Get the experience, do the work, put in the effort, and actually learn the skill in order for you to move forward. And for example, I have signed myself up for like an Excel spreadsheet course because I can work Excel, but I'm not really where I want to be with it, right? So I am really and truly at that space now where I want to be proficient in it. Learn skills, guys. Okay. This year is about moving forward and setting the foundations for the 1 year coming up in 2026. So do what it takes. All right. I really don't feel like it's a real conflict card. I feel like there may be some challenges coming up, and it's about how you handle the challenges and the fact that you may need to learn skills in order to learn those deal with those challenges. Okay, right. There we go. Decisions again. Two of air. That's April, May. Oh gosh. Two of air. Right. Now, Kelso is saying to me that again, I'm just referring back to the traditional tarot so you understand it. In this one, she has a mask on. She does have a bit of a mask on the side of her face that carries feathers on the side. But do not be blinded when you're making your decisions now. Okay. I do want to just say, I feel it now and I have to put it out there. The Five of Fire can, for me, sometimes carry an energy of frustration, right? Don't be frustrated about what needs to be done. Just, it's that kind of, the adage, chop wood and carry water. I feel like kind of grinding the first couple of months. So don't be frustrated by it because come May, you're going to have some serious decisions to make, right? Getting clarity on, again, maybe reassessing your plan. Maybe you've tried something and it doesn't suit you. You don't like the way it works. Maybe it's making adjustments. Don't be blinded by frustration. Don't be blinded by the fact that you've had a few challenges, and don't make decisions coming from that place of, oh, well, that didn't work, so I'm going to give up. Reevaluate, guys. If you find that you have to make decisions and you don't feel like you are intuitively making the right one, take a moment, see what has prevented you from tuning into your intuition fully before you move forward. It's that simple. Really, don't go rushing into things and making decisions that you're then going to pay the consequences for later on in the year. Okay, very important that you just temper your decision-making processes, because I think that there are going to be quite a few decisions coming up. And it makes sense given that the type of year it is, where we're having to end cycles and we're having to action things to get out of spaces into new spaces, right? Our first major arcana, I just want to say we are 6 months in, and this is the first major arcana we've got. It does feel to me, I go back to this adage, it does feel to me that all of these minor arcana are very mundane kind of everyday things. It does feel to me like next year is going to be a chop wood, carry water kind of year, guys. So just putting it out there gently in the corner, right? But this is now where you recognize your power. This is where you remember who you are, you step into your power, you realize that you have everything you need to manifest what you want, right? The magician offers us moments in time, guided by the universe, divinely guided by the universe, where it allows you to focus, be creative, right? And start turning your visions. All this work that you've done here, right? From January right through to May, start turning them into a reality. The universe is assisting you with this. It's a major arcana. The universe has a hand in this. All right. So make sure that you are paying attention to that you are able to then do what you need to do to create your own reality around this. Then, when the opportunities start arriving, be open to them. Right. Let Spirit assist you when the time comes. Don't be so stoic and so raw in your whole stand around what you're wanting and what you're needing to come in, that you don't allow others, and Spirit could drop off something with you through somebody else. Somebody else could come in and give you a gift, or give you a suggestion, or give you an idea, or give you some assistance that really moves you forward. Don't be closed to that. Understand that traditionally he sits with all four of the suits on his table. He sits with the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles, right? He has everything at his disposal in order to create what he wants to create. So this is the time where you put in the graft and you start then actually actioning the products that you're wanting to put out. And I don't mean, when I say products, it doesn't necessarily have to be a product for a business. It can be anything. You could be working on a relationship. You could be working on your own business, right? It could be anything in your life. It could be working on your spirituality, wanting to evolve and level up. Okay, manifest a life that brings you peace and joy and love. Whatever it is, just relate the messages to your situation and to what your spark of inspiration is going to be. Okay, July, the opportunities start coming in, guys. Messenger of water, this is traditionally the Knight of Cups. If it is love, guys, this could be a proposal. So for those of you who are wanting love and wanting that kind of energy, this could be a long-term stability proposal. But this is about opportunities. It's about people coming in and offering stuff to you that moves you forward, whether it be people, whether it be the universe. For some of you, if you find that you are maybe in a 5-year next year and there's a bit of conflict with people, you may be receiving, I'm hearing a long needed apology is what I'm hearing. So you could be receiving an apology if there has been something that has been going on for a period of time. It feels like quite a long period of time. You may be receiving an apology around that. But this really does feel like whatever happens aligns you with your goals for the year long term. If you look at this, she's looking at this little seahorse here. Now, it's interesting that it's a seahorse because seahorses talk about longevity and long term. Seahorses mate for life, right? They're monogamous and they mate for life. So this could be that the opportunities that are coming now are setting you up for the long term because you've done the work, you've done the manifestation around it, right? So be aware of the manifestations that are coming through to you. Be aware of the opportunities. I'm going to say this to you guys. Please pay attention. Very often, the opportunities that come to us in our lives, right? Very often, do not always come in the manner that we expect them to. It does not mean that it is not the same manifestation. It just means that it may present in a different timing or in a different way than you expected it to. Do not be closed off to opportunities next year, please. Okay, Four of Air. This talks about rest, rejuvenation, healing. Okay, traditionally, it's a time of breathing out. Okay, so I'm going to say to you that I feel like July, you may need to take a bit of a break, maybe take a time away, go away for a little bit. Just have some head time after you have put in all of the effort from the first 6 months. July is going to require that you take those moments. You have that time of solitude. Kelso saying recalibrate and regroup in July. Make the most of that time. So it doesn't mean that you stop. We've got momentum going here. We've got opportunities coming in. You're creating the reality you want in whichever sphere of your life you want it in. This is just a breather to acknowledge how far you've come, but to assess if it's still working, if you need to make changes, and to self-care, guys. All right. You're going to be required in July to do a little bit of self-care and to make sure that you are not pushing yourself, that you're not overly exerting yourself, and that things are moving in a space that you want them to move in. Why? Because everything changes come August. No, not August, September. Hold on a second. February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I did say August, didn't I? Did I say August is... I do this every year. Right. August, September, there's transformation. So, perfect timing. Remember we spoke about dealing with the cycles of the moon. As we move into spring, this is traditionally the death rebirth card. So number 13 in this deck, and most decks it's 13, which comes down to 4, which is about solid foundations. Right? So I said to you here in July with the messenger of water, right? Coming in with offers that offer stability and longevity. The final kicks are happening here to move you into a space where you're able to end cycles and renew yourself for the beginning of the next chapter of the year, the last 3 months. Guys, it will be in the spring energy for the southern hemisphere, right? So please work with the cycles with that. Let go of what no longer is serving you. Be open to receiving, right? You can see the girl in her hand. She's got things floating away. She's letting go. It's time to let go. It almost gives that feeling of autumn with the sparks of fire. It's got that kind of like the kind of leaves blowing away kind of energy, all right? So let go of what is saying, what's burning you, what's still not playing in your favor in September. October, 9 of fire. Okay, this is what we call the wounded warrior. Don't give up at this point. Take some time to reevaluate, right? But this card is calling for tenacity and courage and the drive. The one thing about the wounded warrior is they've been through many battles, but they have never given up. So October is going to require that you keep moving forward, right? Also saying, irrespective of external circumstances, keep moving forward towards working back towards that lantern that you lit in January. Keep focused on your goals, keep putting in the effort, keep moving forward. Even if it's 1 foot at a time, in fact, 1 foot at a time is the best way to do it. Keep moving forward in order to get to where you want to be. Okay. Do not give up at this point for whatever reason. Sometimes change is, in fact, 9 times out of 10, change is hard, especially when we're having to change ourselves in order to make the changes in the physical, right? So he's saying, don't give up. Acknowledge as well. I'm a big believer in this. When we are healing and when we are doing this work, we also need to stop and acknowledge how far we have come. Couple of reasons for this. Because simply we don't want to keep on trying to work on a healing that has already occurred. Okay, that's wasting time and energy, and it's getting you nowhere. But we also need to take a moment to go, actually, I've done that. There needs to be a sense of pride, okay, in how far we have come. It is an achievement to keep on pushing through when times are tough. Okay, so when we get to October, don't let the dark thoughts creep in. Don't let anything deter you from your space. Just keep going, keep persevering towards it. And also, to be fair, take everything else out of it. I mean, we all know now, we're in November already. Most of us are feeling that tired end of year vibe. Just keep going. Okay, it's that simple. Four of fire, and there it is. The stability that I spoke to you about. No, wrong card, my bad. Sorry, as you were. The stability, right, with the opportunities coming in, there's your Four of Wands. For some of you, it may be marriage. For some of you, it might be the stability of a new home. It could be a million different things. But the Four of Wands speaks of stability. It does speak of marriage and connection and love. So if this is a love reading for you, if that's what you're looking for, it could be a marriage proposal. You could have had the proposal beforehand and the marriage actually happens in November. But this is about a connection of a solid relationship. Okay. It also is about celebrations, reunions, family. Okay. So it could be that after getting through this, you then have some time to actually just let your hair down and go, I've achieved. Okay. Remember I said to you, always look back at how far you have come. We don't ignore that. So November turns around the energy really nicely into the last month of the year. Come on, you've got to be kidding me. The Ace of Earth. You start on an ace and you end on an ace. Very interesting that we've only got two major arcana here, guys. We've got two very important major arcana here. We've got transformation and magician, both of which are saying to us that this year coming up, how it plays out is going to be determined by how we handle it and the actions that we take. Okay, because the divine only steps in in June and in September. Those are divinely inspired cards. The rest of it is chop wood, carry water energy. It's everyday mundane stuff. But we have the Ace of Earth. Hugely beautiful card to have at the end, right? This is new income, investments in your space, promotions. This is success, right? Something to celebrate. You end off the year on a high. So, guys, 9 years, I'm going to call it as it is because you know how I feel about this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, right, I'm going to say to you that you have to step back here, take the moment and acknowledge, because once you acknowledge it, right, it allows the energy to flow for everything else to come towards you. If you are missing opportunities or if you are missing how far you have come, you will miss the celebrations as well. Honestly, you will. You'll just keep on trudging through and not actually stopping to appreciate where you've gotten to and how far you've come. So I'm going to say to you, 4 of November, really great month, really great stuff in energy coming up in November. You could spend time with family. It could be anything like that. Okay, marriages, all sorts of things. But to end off on the Ace of Earth, guys, this is long-term stability, a new beginning in long-term I need to say spaghetti. Don't mind that. We'll just turn it into pasta, shall we? Really nice way to end the year. Really beautiful way to end the year when we're going into a 1 year the next year, which is all about new beginnings. This card, in a nutshell, clarifies this entire reading for you. Put in the work and you will have the reward that you want come the end of the year. Okay, so guys, I really hope that this has helped you. I hope it's given you some direction for the year. Again, please, if you are interested in having your session, please, guys, get the bookings in. November is filling up for me. I've got lots of classes and things on the go. So please make sure to book your sessions and we will get you sorted for your personal one, where we will also look at your personal year and then all the energies that you will be facing throughout the year. Okay, sending you so much love, guys. I will be putting up a few more videos this week. We've had a bit of a problem with internet here because of the weather lately. It's been a bit tricky, but hopefully the next couple of days won't be as bad. So sending you lots of love, and I'm wishing you all in advance an absolutely spectacular 2025. And I really do hope that you have the opportunity to create everything that you want and more. Big loves, guys. Big loves.